Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Zoom meeting. And today we will have the red team presenting. And here's the agenda. And Dr. Omar and his team will be starting. So I'm going to stop sharing. And when you are ready, Dr. Omar and your team, please take it from there. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Omar Bakri. I'm the leader of the Red Team. Today, we'll be presenting our weekly presentation by the Red Team. We'll have 4 topics to talk to: healthy aging, IRB applications, and designing an extraction sheet, and how to use the SPSS. And also, Dr. Nadir later will give you updates about the projects. We will start with healthy aging. It will be presented by Dr. Mohammed Salih. You can have the mic, Dr. Mohammed.
Hello everyone. You guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, perfect. We're gonna be presenting healthy aging. Dr. Aya, Abdallah, and I. So Dr. Aya is gonna start, and she's gonna show the screen right now.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Today I'll be presenting Successful Aging with Dr. Mohammed Saleh. So today we'll be covering the concept of aging, defining the successful aging and the factors that contribute to healthy aging and common problems at old age and the role of social worker. And then we'll have a quick summary about the presentation. So according to WHO, by 2050, 1 in 6 people worldwide will be age 60 or above. Sorry, will be age 60 or above. From simply treating illnesses and promoting healthy aging, this means helping older adults maintain their function, ability, and independence and dignity. And the goal of healthy aging is to lower the risk of disease and disability and high physical and mental function and active engagement with life. So what is aging? It is more than getting older. The National Institute on Aging definition, it defines it as the changes that happen throughout life, and the WHO describes it as the progressive changes in our biological, physiological, and social structure. According to the WHO, most countries have accepted the chronological age of 65 and above as definition of elderly and old age. According to the UN, 60 and more years will be referred as the older population or elderly. So it is grouped as young adults who are up from 60 to up to 75 years, and old are up to 85 years, and very old are 85 and above. And so there's a lot of things that happen during as we grow up. It's movement function changes, sensory function changes, cognitive function, sexuality changes, and immune function and function of the skin and multimorbidities. And here are 10 common chronic conditions that are associated with aging. It's hypertension, high cholesterol, obesity, and arthritis, ischemic heart disease, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, and heart failure, depression, and Alzheimer. Here are some health conditions during aging: hearing loss, cataract, refractory errors, back and neck pain, and osteoarthritis, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, diabetes, and depression and dementia, as we mentioned earlier. Also characterized by emergence of severe complex health states that tend to occur only later in life and that do not fall into discrete disease categories. These are commonly called geriatric syndromes, often the consequence of multiple underlying factors, and include frailty, urinary incontinence, falls, delirium, or pressure ulcers. Geriatric syndromes appear to be better predictor of death than the presence or number of specific disease. So the WHO defines successful aging as functional ability that enables well-being in older age. Concept is also referred differently. Various synonyms terms used, including positive aging, active aging, and aging well, healthy aging, optimum aging, productive aging. These are all terms that are used to define successful aging, but the most common term that is used in the US is successful aging and active aging in Europe. According to Rowe and Kahn, successful aging includes three main components, which are having low probability of disease and associated disability, high cognitive and physical function, active engagement with life. Further emphasize that successful aging does not merely involve the absence of a disease or maintenance of function compatibilities, but requires combination of both along with active engagement in life. And we face a lot of obstacles to have a successful aging, which are poverty, social inferiority, social isolation, physical weakness, powerlessness, and humiliation. From here, I would like to hand it over to Dr. Mohammed, who will now speak in more details about how we can ensure successful aging and support older adults in achieving a better quality of life.
Hello everyone. Morning. My name is Mohammed. I'm going to be continuing the presentation from now on. And thank you, Dr. Aya, for the amazing presentation and as Dr. Aya mentioned, that many reasons contribute to, as she explained, the successful aging and how it affects the elderly population. We're going to see the factors that contribute to successful aging, which mainly goes through physical, psychological, and social factors. Regarding the physical factors, person physical health before the age of 50 is indicator of his health when it comes when he's which is, as Dr. Aya said, 60 and above, and the abstinence, of course, cigarette, alcohol, and drugs, having a body not very tight, actually between 20 and 29, is actually a good indicator of future health. Moderate exercise, not vigorous, not, moderate amount of exercise, and fewer chronic medical conditions. Clinicians use tools to assess. Next slide, please. Clinicians use tools to assess the physical factors, which basically screening throughout the total body, the whole body. And it started from vital signs to cardiovascular examination and GIT examination. So they target specific and high yield points and that are good predictors of the elderly health. And next point, we're going to go through the psychological factors. And it's actually one of the most neglected aspects of an elderly well-being. And it's a very important factor that affects a vast majority of elderly population. And it's a good predictor of health as well. Next slide. We use the mini cognitive assessment. It's one of the assessment tools that we use in assessing elderly individual. Basically, the mini cognitive assessment tool, it involves three steps. And step one is basically repeating three unrelated words, random words, for example, ball, dog, and window. and then shifting on right away to step two, which we actually instruct the patient to draw a clock, and he's supposed to draw the clock with the hands showing at 10 minutes past 11, and he should know where exactly is the 10 figure within the clock and the 11 figure in order to do this. And step three is going back to asking what are the three words that we just mentioned, which were ball, dog, and window. And basically, you score the interpretation based on what the patient answers, and a score above of three is actually a good score. And it shows a decreased likelihood of dementia. But the very important thing that we should note is that this score is not a diagnostic tool. It's just merely an assessment tool that, for example, if the patient score the score lower than three, it just we actually recommend that the patient undergoes more accurate test in order to assess his cognitive impairment. Next slide, please. The third factor is actually the social factor. A supportive social circle is very important when it comes to an elderly individuals, and higher education. Social circle could range from married to having daughters and son. Just a supportive community that surrounds the patient. Higher education was also found to be a good predictor of the health the health of the health of an aging individual. Next slide, please. So what are the strategies that we're gonna include to target the physical, psychological, and social aspects? Next slide. Regarding the physical health, the American College of Sports Medicine recommends at least 150 minutes, moderate, as we just mentioned in the physical. It should not be vigorous exercise, moderate exercise, 150 minutes per week, which is basically less than 20 minutes per day, or about 20 minutes per day, which is very mild and very good predictor of the health of the aging individual. Next slide. On a study of 1,324 subjects, reported that moderate as opposed to light or vigorous exercise in midlife or late life was associated with the reduced risk of cognitive impairment, which is a very important thing that we should keep in mind. Next slide. Now we're going to target the cognitive function. It involves a wide range of activities ranging from puzzles up to, for example, digital brain games, which are all actually very useful and should be implemented in the elderly population. Next slide. Okay. Regarding diet, there should be caloric restriction, high consumption of healthy food, for example, fruits, vegetables, and higher component of unsaturated fat acids. Complementary and alternative medicine is actually very important as well. Yoga, other meditation techniques are actually very important, and they help in the patient's sleep. Social engagement is very important when it comes to the social factors. Increasing age is actually considered a very important risk factors for isolation of the individual. It could be, of course, to many reasons. Among the stipulated reasons could be the decrease in physical activities and the health issues of the elderly population. Health issues could actually range from being from disability up to, for example, urinary incontinence, which could be embarrassing to the elderly individual. So they should always try to engage them in the community. Next slide. One of the most important tools that's actually very useful in engaging the elderly population in the community are the retirement homes. They're very important because they actually bring about people of the same age, same interest, and people who share the same experience. And it's actually very important that they get to have very good time and basically organizing various activities, creative activities, singing and dancing as shown in the pictures. And it's a very good place to get to know new friends and network with people, as we said. Next slide. So this is basically a summary of the strategies that we just mentioned. It ranges from avoiding smoking to having regular healthy screening, minimizing stress. Next slide. Meditation, remaining active, and basically just having a clean environment. Now we're just gonna watch a quick video. It's called Another Perspective. We're just gonna watch part of it, but I would totally recommend that you guys watch it, the whole video. It's a very nice video, and as I said, we're just gonna watch part of it right now.
I'm not sure if the sound of the video is working.
I'm not sure how I can share the sound, but let me try. Wait.
All right. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. We can just skip it.
Dr. Zahra in the comments box said close the screen, share first, then make sure to select share sound.
Okay, I'm trying to.
Children live hundreds of miles away.
Is it working now?
And have friends, many of whom have died.
Yes,
or
it
have
is working.
cancer. So the question for you is, how can you ensure that when you're her age, you've got all your marbles to throw back at whatever life throws you? So we studied twins to try and answer this question. So we studied identical twins in 1999 and in 2000 with the same battery of cognitive tests. And we looked at the difference, the change in their test performance over the 10 years. And back at the beginning of the study, we asked them all manner of questions about their lifestyle and also comprehensively tested their physical functioning. Now, what do you think would be the most important factors back in 1999, which might predict which of these twins, and in fact, this is the same twin pair, which of these twins would have gone on to have better maintained their cognitive function? Well, we expected and found that vascular risk factors, such as blood pressure and levels of cholesterol, were important. And we expected that education, occupation, and the level of mental work that they were doing would be protective, but the twins were so similar in this regard, we couldn't find a difference.
معظمكم يضيع أكثر من 3 ساعات من يومه في مهام متكررة ويومية وكل شيء بيتغير مع on demand صار عندك.
But none of these factors, and actually also diet as well, those factors put into a big model to test all these lenses together, those factors were not the most important. The most significant factor influencing which twin would have gone on to have better maintained their mental functioning was the strength of their legs back in 1999. And the strength of their legs was itself associated with the level of physical activity. Put it a different way, the twin who had stronger legs had better maintained her function over the 10 years. And we went on to look at the brain changes, the brain imaging changes in twins who had different leg strength at the beginning of the study. And the twins with the stronger legs had more grey matter, had more white matter, and had less empty space in the skull, which wasn't filled with brain, the ventricles. So you can see here, this is a stronger twin of the twin pair, an identical twin pair. And you don't need to be a neuroscientist to see that the empty spaces, the ventricles here, are much smaller within the stronger twin than within the weaker twin. So is this all because of cause and effect, or is there some other common pathway explaining this finding? Well, there's now a huge number, a growing literature anyway, of interventional studies, randomized controlled trials, kicked off by this man here, Art Kramer, from the University of Illinois, showing that aerobic exercise actually changes your brain and changes its function, both in normal older people, in younger people too, in people who have mild cognitive impairment, and studies are underway now in people who have dementia. But we already know that physical exercise, particularly aerobic exercise, reduces your risk of dementia. Now, how does this happen? Well, aerobic exercise increases the numbers of connections in the brain, the synapses. It also does this through actions of nerve growth factors, which are hormones which make nerve cells grow. It increases levels of key neurotransmitters, the ways that nerve cells talk to each other, like acetylcholine and dopamine. And it increases the brain blood flow, giving the brain more resources to do its work. And there are also more systemic effects of exercise. For example, reducing the aging of the immune system and increasing the length of telomeres, the caps on the ends of chromosomes, which are seen as the ticking clocks of the cell. But how much exercise do we really have to do? Well, we can all be really inspired by older athletes like this man and this woman. Did you know the oldest marathon runner is Fauja Singh, and he's 101 years old? And he's a vegan, by the way. Older people can achieve amazing feats and really be an inspiration to us all. But luckily, the good news is we don't all have to be marathon runners or pentathletes. No, the level of physical activity used in the interventions I spoke about, which change your brain, is within reach of the majority of people. It's just 45 minutes of walking, just 3 times a week. And it can be built up gradually from just 10 minutes. And you don't have to wait until you're older either. Even studies in school children show that physical exercise increases your cognitive function. And remember, our twins, they were just different on everyday levels of physical activity, and none of them were athletes. The important thing is that you have to keep doing it. You can't store up all the effects from being a really good, super fit 20-year-old and then a couch potato after that. But if you are a couch potato, then all you need to do is stand up and get doing stuff. There are studies now showing that reducing your amount of sedentary time may itself be important. Now, a common problem is that people are worried that they might do some damage to themselves through exercise, and especially after a certain age, some enthusiastic first attempt leads to some pain, which then puts somebody off. Well, the trick is to start gently. And the fact of the matter is that exercise improves chronic pain, both chronic pain in general and chronic pain from osteoarthritis. And it has really large-reaching other benefits as well. Benefits on your heart, benefits on diabetes, both reducing your risk of getting diabetes, but also if you have diabetes already, it helps your control. And physical exercise can also be important even in people who have stroke or cancer. Now, the real problem is how to embed exercise in daily life. And this is a really open research question, actually. And it's especially important because the interventions I spoke about do wear off if they're not sustained. Now, the fact is that most of us don't want to go to the gym. Now, most of my patients have bus passes, but I tell them, get off the bus, get off the tube one stop before you have to, and walk the rest of the way. Park your car away from the supermarket so you have to walk in and carry your shopping back. Make it a rule to use the stairs, as well as trying to find that special time for exercise. And joining a group is often a good way to go. Well, here are my 2 boys taking a dose of my medicine, braving the really cold, bitter March we've had just 2 weeks ago. And having a young family really focuses my mind on what aging might be like for future generations. How can exercise compete with the DVD and the Game Boy? But it turns out that our mind needs physical space as well as virtual space to thrive. Up until now, each successive generation has aged better than the last one. But I wonder, are we really doing enough to make sure that this is still the case in the future? So just to summarize, I've told you that older people are really very varied, but it's not solely about your genes, and that of lifestyle factors, physical exercise is really the most important. And the choices we make every day may make a difference to whether we keep our marbles when we're 80. Thank you.
It was a very nice video, and I totally recommend that you guys go watch the whole video. It was presented by Dr. Claire Steves. It's a TEDx video, and I think we're just wrapping up the presentation right now. As the video stipulated, as we said in the important to have a holiday in order to age successfully, including exercise, mental and physical factors. And basically, it's not, as Dr. I said, it's not merely the absence of chronic illness, how we manage and we perceive the life satisfaction of an elderly individual. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohammed, and thank you so much, Dr. Aya. It was a very good presentation, and the video was really, really interesting. I also recommend for everyone to watch the full video. Our next agenda in this meeting will be about IRB, and it will be presented by Dr. Eiman Radwan. Are you here?
Yes, I am here.
Yeah, Dr. Eiman, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Yes, you can share your screen and start right away.
Okay.
Good luck.
Can you see my slides?
Yes, but I think if you flip your phone, rotate it, it would be better.
Yeah,
Is it
okay.
possible?
How is it right now? It's clear?
Did you rotate your phone? Did you flip your phone, the screen? Oh, yes, yes, that's what I meant. Yes, now I think it's clear. Yes.
Okay.
Make it full screen if possible.
Just a minute. You can see my screen right now?
Yes, but as I told you, rotate, flip the screen.
Okay, no problem. So warm greetings to all
I'm sorry,
present.
Dr. Ayman, can you please
Yeah.
rotate your phone so the text is not clear now? Yes, now it's better. Yes, now it's better. Yes, you can start.
Okay. So warm greetings to all present. I hope you are all doing great. My name is Dr. Eiman Radwan and I am internal medicine resident. As we gather here today, I am excited to discuss navigating the research process, protocols, and ethical process. So let's start here. IRB applications and approval, navigating the research ethics process. The Institutional Review Board oversees all human subject research. It serves as the guardian of participant rights and welfare, ensuring that all research complies with applicable ethical standards and regulations. The IRB's mission is to minimize risk to participants, protect vulnerable populations, and ensure informed consent is properly obtained and documented. Its review also assesses the scientific validity and ethical soundness of research protocols to maintain public trust in research. Applicants must submit detailed protocols outlining study objectives, methodologies, and participant protections. The IRB carefully evaluates these submissions to balance scientific progress with ethical responsibility. Why is IRB approval important? In legal, ethical, and institutional reasons. Why it is important in legal protection first. Compliance with the federal regulations like the common rule prevents sanction and legal liability. Number two, ethical responsibility ensures research respect, participant autonomy, minimize harm, and balances risk with benefits. Institutional safeguard protects university reputation and maintain liability for federal funding and grants. Publication requirements. Most journals require IRB approval documentation before accepting research manuscript. Then public trust demonstrates commitment to responsible research, building confidence in scientific finding. When do you need IRB approval? Understanding when your research requires IRB review is essential for ethical compliance. Because we deal with human subjects, research involving interaction with living individuals or their identifiable data requires review, or institutional affiliation projects conducted by university personnel or using institutional resource require IRB oversight, or systemic investigation studies designed to develop or contribute to generalizable knowledge need approval, and then pilot study. Even preliminary research requires IRB review if it involves human participants. Understanding the IRB process, pre-review phase, and we have review category and post-submission timeline. In pre-review phase, research prepare detailed protocols documentation before submission, identify risk level of research, gather required documentation, and complete training requirements. Review categories, IRB reviews follows 3 pathway based on risk level. Extent, minimal risk studies expected, moderate risk studies, and full board significant risk studies. Post-submission timeline expects varying turnaround times based on review complexity. Expect 1 to 2 weeks, expected 2 to 4 weeks, and full board in 4 to 8 weeks. Understanding the IRB process, exempt review and expected review, and full board review, like we said before. Key components of an IRB application. First, we have research protocol, a detailed plan outline objectives, methodologies, and procedures. Informed consent documents, clear explanation of risk, benefits, and participant rights. Then we have a study population, description of participant demographics, and recruitment methods. Then risk assessment, evaluation of potential risk, and how they will minimized. Writing an effective research protocol. First, we have research question, then methodology and participant, then risk-benefit analysis, then data security and analysis. Key ethical principles in research. First, we have to respect for person and beneficence that has a maximizing benefits while minimizing potential harms, and justice for ensuring fair selection and equitable treatment. Common IRB application pitfalls, like we said before. Preparing consent documents. It has a required documents like purpose statement, risk descriptions, benefit potential, and alternative options. Readability standards, 8th grade reading level, and plain language, and Flish Kincaid test. Special population like children, assent forms and translated documents, and visual aids when needed. Post-approval requirements, adverse events reporting, report unexpected problems within 5 to 10 business days, use institutional-specific forms. Continuing review, submit annual progress reports, include participant enrollment, statistic, and preliminary findings. The protocol amendments, obtain approval before implementing change, document all modifications clearly. Then we have study closure, complete formal closure process, follow data retention requirements. Resources and best practices, pre-submission consultations, meet with IRB staff before formal submission, address potential issues early, institutional specific templates, use provided templates, follow formatting guidance precisely, required training, complete CITI and NIH human subject courses, document certification. Decision tools, utilize ORB charts, refers federal guidance documents. And thank you all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Eiman, for your presentation about a very important topic that almost necessary in all type of research. Thank you so much. Our next presentation and next topic in our meeting is going to be how to design an extraction sheet for systemic review and meta-analysis. It is really important because it is a necessary step when you are attempting to do systemic review and meta-analysis, and it will be presented by Dr. Lena Karrar. Lena, can you hear me?
Hi, Dr. Omar. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Are you ready?
I am ready, yes. Just give
Okay.
me 1 second so that I can share my my
Yes.
screen.
Sure. Take your time. You can start when you're ready.
All right. Hello everyone. My name is Lena Karrar, and I'm a fellow in the Telegeriatric Fellowship. Before I begin my presentation, I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Nadir for giving us this opportunity. It's an amazing learning experience. I'd also like to thank the Team Red 2 group for giving me this chance to present with them, and especially thanks to you, Dr. Omar. Right, so can
You're
you
welcome.
see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen, but
Okay.
please make it full screen, maybe slideshow.
Okay.
Yes, start.
All right, so our topic for today is designing an extraction sheet for systematic reviews. We will cover an overview of systemic reviews in general, and then we'll go into depth in defining the extraction sheet and explaining why is it so important and indispensable. And I will also go through the key components to consider, including in the extraction sheet. We'll also go into details into the designing process from planning to piloting and giving an example, a real world example. We'll also go through the tools and best practices. So before we dive into the details of doing an extraction sheet, let's begin by zooming out for a little bit into the grand scheme of making a systematic review. As we all know, the process begins with defining a research question, using a clear and answerable question, using the PICO system or population intervention comparison group and outcome. After that, we develop the protocol to outline the methodology and the search strategy. We will put the inclusion and exclusion criteria, and then we'll plan our analysis before starting the review. After that, we do the systematic search using multiple databases and sources to identify all relevant studies. After that, we do the screening step, which includes both title and abstract screening, and then the full text screening. And then comes the important step, which is the data extraction and quality assessment. And this will be our focus for today. After that, we'll go through, the process goes into data synthesis, analyzing, comparing, combining, and interpreting the extracted data. And then, Viola, we are ready to write up the systematic review and report it following the reporting guidelines that we choose. So what is the problem that we are having? We know that the systematic reviews involve synthesizing vast amounts of data from numerous studies. Sometimes this includes hundreds or thousands of studies. So how do we do this efficiently and consistently? How do we synthesize this amount of data? As you can guess, the solution is a well-designed data extraction sheet. So what's a data extraction sheet? It's a standardized form or template used to systematically record relevant information from each study, included in the systematic review. Consider it as a bridge between the primary studies and your synthesis, and it acts as a data collection instrument, ensuring consistency and accuracy. And this will lead us to the question, why is an extraction sheet indispensable? Well, it ensures the consistency that we are extracting the same type of data from every study, reducing bias, especially if we have more than one reviewer. It also helps minimize errors during data transcription, so that will increase the chance of accuracy of our systematic review. It will also make the process more efficient because it streamlines the data collection process, especially for multiple reviewers. Again, reproducibility. If someone else, after we publish the systematic review, come and want to replicate the same thing that we did, this will allow them to understand how data was collected, and potentially they can replicate the process. It also helps in organizing the data in a way that makes analysis, comparison, and synthesis much easier. And of course, it will address the review questions, because the extraction sheet will directly link the extracted data back to the question of the systematic review, and compare it between different studies. And also it helps manage missing data, because it provides clear fields for noting when information is unavailable. So what are the key components to include in an extraction sheet? We have 4 major components. The first one is the study identification and administrative details. The second component is study characteristics. The third component is risk of bias and quality assessment. And the fourth one is outcome measures and results. We will go into details into each one of those components. So the first one is the study identification and administrative details. It's just a simple component that includes the unique study ID. It's a sequential number or code for easy reference. We'll include reviewers' initials for tracking. We'll include the date of extraction, which is important for version control. And then we will include for sure the reference information, including the full citation and also a link to the full text. If at this stage a study is excluded that was initially included, but now we decided to exclude it, it's better to include also like a column for exclusion reason. The second component of the extraction sheet is the study characteristics, and this just goes to the study itself, like the study design, for example. Was it randomized control trial or a cohort or a case control? And then the participants or population of the study. We will include sample size and things like demographics, including age, gender, ethnicity, and disease status. We'll include inclusion and exclusion criteria, the recruitment methods. And then we'll include also the setting and interventions. And then if a study has like comparators, like placebo, for example, or comparing usual care to alternative mode of care. And also we'll include in this component the follow-up duration, especially for longitudinal studies. The third component is the risk of bias or quality assessment. Usually this component is done after we do the extraction sheet or in the same time, but it's better to include the main components of this part in the extraction sheet as well. But it's also important to do it in details in itself. This includes sequence generation, allocation, concealment, and blinding, which is more related to the randomized control trials. And also we'll include incomplete outcome data or selective reporting regarding each study. The fourth component and the most important one is the outcome measures and results. For each study, we'll include the outcome name, like for example, pain, intensity, blood pressure, or quality of life. For the quantitative data, we will include things like means, standard deviation, medians, interquartile ranges, or mean differences, and their confidence intervals. For the qualitative data, we'll include things like key themes, concepts, and categories, if they're percentages or codes. And also in this part, we'll include adverse events, if any. If there is any conflicts of interest for transparency, that will also be included here. Additional contextual information, including the limitations of the study as reported by the authors, or if it's observed by the reviewer during the reviewing process. We'll also do like a separate note column for notes and comments for reviewers' specific thoughts or questions or ambiguities, if any. After we gone through the components of the extraction sheet, we can go to see how the process is done. It has 6 steps. The first one is defining the extraction sheet. It must be directly informed by the specific systematic review questions and inclusion criteria. So in like a meeting of all the reviewers that will participate in this step, it's preferred that they meet and then define the extraction sheet, and then they brainstorm the questions. So they list every piece of information that they might need from the study. And also we can consult the existing guidelines like PRISM or Coherent Handbook, so that they can give us more ideas about the questions that are likely to be included in the extraction sheet. And then we'll choose a format and a tool. We'll talk more about the tools in the next few slides, but we'll choose like simple things like spreadsheet, Excel or Google Sheets, online platform or database software. And then we develop the detailed codebook or guidance document, which is crucial for consistency. What we will do in this detailed code book, we define exactly what information goes into each field, and we provide examples and be specific about the units of measurements, outline how to handle missing data, like for example, writing NA or not available, not applicable, or NR if it's not reported. And also we give instructions to the reviewers about resolving the discrepancies if there are any. The fifth step, or the next step, is pilot test. This is a very crucial step, which will make sure that this extraction sheet is really working. So we select a small number of representative sample of the included studies, so say for example 2 to 5 studies, and then we do like a test. At least 2 independent reviewers will extract the data using the draft as if it's like the full version of the extraction, but it's just a test in 2 to 5 samples, 2 to 5 studies. And then we meet and discuss to revise the sheet. If there is anything that's not clear, or if there is any ambiguity, we can repeat or review it and edit it. And then after that, if everything is fine, we can finalize and implement our sheet and codebook. And a very important step in this part, before finalizing it or after finalizing it, just make sure that all reviewers are on the same page by training them on how to use the sheet. So regarding the tools for data extraction, simple tools like spreadsheet software, including Excel or Google Sheets or Numbers, can be used. They are easy and they are familiar. Things like Google Sheets can be collaborative, so many reviewers can use the same sheet. As I said, it's easy to use. But the problem is can become hard for very large reviews. If you have, like, for example, 1,000 reviews, it would be difficult to manually enter every review data. Other options include reference management software with extraction capabilities. These include EndNote, Mendeley, and Zotero. They are primarily used for managing references, but some of them have been integrated with data extraction, but they are limited for scope because the main purpose of these programs are for reference management. Other specialized systemic review software like Covidence and Ryan and EPPI Reviewer and Distiller SR are powerful and designed for systematic review workflow and also collaborative features. And they are more advanced, but their problem is that they can be like a very hard learning curve, especially if we are beginners. And some of them are subscription-based. Other database software, including Microsoft Access and SQL databases, these are designed for highly complex reviews, but it requires technical expertise and skill. It's the most hard ones of all 4 options. So what are the common challenges in data extraction sheet designing and also how to overcome them? One of the challenges that we can face in this step is heterogeneity in reporting, which means studies report similar outcomes, but in different ways. So how to solve this problem is by being flexible and consistent in this extraction. So if 2 studies, they have similar outcome, but they report it in different ways, we can use the notes field to clarify on how to handle the variations in the codebook. There is also a problem of missing data that, for example, information you need isn't reported. Again, we cannot put data that is not there. So the solution is just by simply putting it clearly documented that not available or not reported. And then if ambiguous information, unclear description in studies, again, use the notes section for clarifying that. If there is inconsistency between reviewers, for example, different interpretations, that's where the detailed code book comes in. By regular meetings and regular discussions, we can make this conflict easily processed. And then there is also the problem of adding too many data points during extraction. If we have a specific question and a specific data that we wanted to put, but then we found hey, these are more exciting data, we can put it here, that's not a good thing. It's better to always stick to your initial plan, guided by the review questions. So the best practices is that always start early at the beginning of the review planning. You want to design the sheet. And also you want to keep it focused. As I said, every extra field adds time and potential error, and then it's not an information that you need anyway. Also make it user-friendly so that all reviewers will consistently do the same thing. It's also recommended to pre-populate fields, like using drop-down menu or validation where possible. That will reduce the errors. Also include tracking so that you'll have version 1, version 2, and etc. so that you will keep track of the changes. Also train all reviewers. They must be thoroughly trained on the sheet. And where possible, it's better to do blinding. So if feasible, the reviewers should not be able to see each other's decisions. And also design the sheet at the beginning of the review planning, as mentioned earlier. So this is a real-time example. Let's imagine a hypothetical systematic review question and walk through the initial steps of designing an extraction sheet. I'm going to use numbers. It's similar to Excel. So the hypothetical paper question is, in adult patients with type 2 diabetes, what is the effect of a Mediterranean diet compared to a low-fat diet on hemoglobin A1C levels? So using this question, we can brainstorm some initial columns for our sheets. If I can Can you see my screen in the numbers? Did it change or still the same presentation?
We can see the table, the exercise.
Okay. So what we can do is that the 4 components that we mentioned earlier, the basic information about each study, the study ID and the reviewer initials. I put my initials here, for example, and then the full citation for the study in question and the study design. And then we'll include things like regarding the study itself, the total participants, how many participants were there, and then the demographics. We define the mean age, the hemoglobin A1C level, and etc. So we'll have so many columns. We can add as many columns as we need. So the final result would be something like this sheet here. So this only an example, like one study. And then along with the sheet itself, we have to do the code book, including every abbreviation that we are going to use, or the specifications of every column, like, for example, participant demographics. Do we need the mean, the standard deviation? Do we need the percentage for gender, for example? And we'd instruct the reviewers to enter, for example, NR for not reported, or NA if it's not applicable. And then this initial draft would then be taken to the pilot test step to refine it, and then use it when it's ready. So in conclusion, a well-designed data extraction sheet is not just a form, it's a critical tool for the rigor, transparency, and efficiency of the systematic review. And when we invest time upfront in the design and piloting, it will save us immense effort and prevent future headaches. It will also empower us to turn a mountain of evidence into a clear, actionable synthesis. And that's the end of this presentation, and it's at the time for any question or discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lena. That's a very good presentation about a very, very important topic, actually, that is very common for almost every fellow of this program to do extraction sheet and extract data of systemic review and meta-analysis. It is really important to understand this step and this topic, because this is probably the most important step when doing systemic review and meta-analysis, and not doing the extraction sheet properly or not extracting the data accurately sometimes could cause retraction of papers, which almost could ruin a research career sometimes. So it is really important, and thank you so much, Dr. Lena, because you joined from the Orange team, and you suggested to present this topic today, which is really important. Thank you so much. I would like to add to what you said about when you're not finding data to extract. If it's really important and essential in your research, in that case, it is better to contact the first author and the last author, corresponding author, I mean, about these data. Email them once or twice, especially when they are really important. That's the only thing I want to add, but thank you so much. That was really, really brilliant from you. Our next topic in this presentation today, it will be about SPSS, just the basics, how to download it, and how to use it. And SPSS is almost necessary for all primary studies. It will be presented by Dr. Ula Ali Yassin. Dr. Ula, can you hear me? Are you here?
Yes, I am here and I can hear you.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, you can start. Good luck.
Okay, thank you. This is you can see the screen.
Yes, we can see the screen. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Ula Ali Yassin and today I will walk you through a quick and practical introduction to SPSS, which is one of the most widely used tools in data analysis, especially in healthcare and social science research. This session is designed to give you an exposure, not just a theory, and we will go over how to open data, run key statistical tests, and interpret some results using SPSS. SPSS stands for Statistical Package for Social Sciences. It was originally designed for social science research, but now it is widely used in medical research, psychology, public health, and more. It allows researchers to easily input data, organize it, and perform everything from simple descriptive statistics to complex regression model without the need for coding. It is great for people who want statistical results without having to write heavy R or Python code. However, it still has advanced options like syntax scripting if you ever want to go deeper. You can download SPSS directly from IBM's official website. Just go to ibm.com/product/SPSS statistics, create a free account, and download the 30-day free trial. If you are affiliated with a university, you might also have access through your institution. The installation is straightforward. Just choose the version for Windows or Mac, run the installer, and you are ready to go. Now we will move to SPSS so we can get a quick tour. You can see SPSS now. There are main views, the data
Yes, we
view
can see
and
it.
the variable views. And here in the above, we have the menus where we can run the different type of tests. We will start by importing data. We can import data from here by checking open, then data, or directly from import data. There are different type of data extension we can import. I already prepared this file, which is an Excel sheet. I can just by clicking open. Sorry, it may take some time to data to be imported. Okay, here, SPSS ask me to confirm that I want to use the first row as variable name, and I will say yes, okay. We have two windows. This is the first window, which is the dataset window, and the other window is the output window. Here in the data set window, we have the two views, the data view. It is like a simple spreadsheet where we have our data presented. And in the variable view, we can control the data, we can change everything. We have our variables here. Those are the variables, and they certain rules apply to them. They must be in written in letters with no spaces and no special character. And this may make us have to write them in short or symbolic ways. And we have this area here labeled to define the variables. For example, here we wrote the systolic blood pressure in this way. And just not to forget the symbols we have or the shortcut we have, we can write the full name here. Okay. Another thing here, we have this value area where we can define the different type of where we can define the different types of values or the labels. For example, we have the smoking in 1 and 2. We can define this here. So 0, okay, let me check. It's in 1 and 0s. 1 and stand for smoker and 0 for non-smokers. From here in the value area, we can set this, so it will appear in the output when we run analysis. First function I will start with is how to transform the different data. For example, if we want to decode into same variables or into different variables, when to choose any of these is depend on the type of data we are working on and whether we want to keep the original data or use it. For example, here I have the gender in written male and female, and I want to recode it into numbers so it can be easily manipulated and work on. So I can do this from here. I will recode into the same variable because I will not lose any data if I did that. The old value, we should make sure here to write the exactly like it's written. For example, male is and female is written with a capital. This must be written exactly the same way. Okay. This is a bit now in the output section, and we can see here in the data view that the gender now is recorded into 1 and 0s. When we can choose to recode into a different variable, it is when we don't want to lose the original data. For example, here the age is an scale data, and we want to change it into two categories, for example. Those are 25 or below, we want to put them in category 1, and those are 25 or above, we want to put them in category 2. We can do this by recoding into a different variable, so we will not lose our original data. We must write the new name for the new variable. Let us call it like this and define it in the label area. age recorded. Here, we just choose the first one is changing a value to a value, but we have an easier option. Instead of writing each age like 21, it will be coded to 1, 23, and so on. We can choose the range. So from the lowest to 25, this will be category 1. And from 26 and above, this will be category 2. We must click change here, so the new variable will appear. And here, this is the age variable. Now it's appeared here. And we can see it in the data view. Now, anyone who is 25 or below is in category 1, and anyone who is above 25 is category 2. Last thing in the transform menu we can use is computing variable. This is a very useful function of SPSS. We can use it in a lot of different stuff, like if we has a Likert scale with different questions and we want to calculate a satisfaction level by summation, all the different variables we have. Here, I will use it to calculate the mean arterial blood pressure since I have the systolic and diastolic blood pressure. Our new variable will be mean arterial blood pressure. And here we'll add the full name. So here we will add the equation. The mean arterial pressure equal the systolic blood pressure plus multiplied by systolic blood pressure minus systolic blood. Here we have the equation, and all we need to do is to click OK. Now we can see a new variable has appeared here, which is the mean arterial blood pressure. And in the data view, we can see that we have calculated the mean arterial pressure in every participant in our data set. This is one of the most useful functions of the transform menu here. Those are the basic stuff we can manipulate data through in SPSS. Now we can move to another part, which is analyzing data. We can start with simple thing like calculating frequencies. Here from analyze, we have frequencies. We can calculate just to have a general overview of our data. And I want to explore how gender and smoking status are distributed. I will choose gender or drag it like this. And the smoke. And just click OK. Here in the output, we can see that half of our participants are male and half of them are female. If we want the data to appear male and female here, we can go and label our data. As we have already labeled the smoking status, we can see that 11 of the participants, or 55%, are non-smoker and 45 are smoker. And if I want to go further and do more descriptive statistics like mean, mode, and so, from the same area from the descriptive statistic, and by clicking frequencies. This time I want to know the mean age for the participant. I want to know the mean arterial blood pressure for the participant. And I want also to calculate I will click here statistics, and I will select that the statistic I want to calculate. I want to see the mean, the median, the mode, the quartiles, and the standard deviation. And I will click OK. Here in this table, we have the mean age, which is 28.2, and the mean arterial blood pressure is the 95. We have the median, the mode, and the standard deviation. This is now we can have a general overview of our data set. And now let us go deeper and examine more stuff. Like, what if we want to explore a relationship between variables? For example, if I want to explore if there is any relationship between gender and smoking status. Both are categorical variables, so the appropriate test is chi-square test of independency. I will go again to analyze, but this time I will go to, instead of frequencies, I will go here to cross-tabulation. I will add gender and smoking status, and here in the statistic, I will check chi-square test. Here in the output, we can see the result of the cross-tabulation. 5 of the males are non-smoker, and 5 of them are smoker. 6 of the females are non-smoker, and 4 of them are smoker. And because the sample size is very small, SPSS has already done the Fisher exact test, and it's still non-significant. The test we didn't find any statistically significant association between gender and smoking status in this data set. Just remember, we can do the chi-square test from the cross-tabulation menu in the analyze menu. Now we can do another test, which independent t-test. We can do this here from comparing the means. We can do independent t-test. I want to compare the mean arterial blood pressure, for example, between males and females. The mean arterial pressure will be the test variable, while the gender will be the grouping variable. And we should define the group. So according to our data, for example, 1 will be 1 as it is, and 2 will be 2. And here we can see the result. For the independent t-test. Here, the mean arterial blood pressure for the males is 95.7, and for female is 94.6. And the p-value show no significant association. Show no significant association between or show that there is no effect of gender on mean arterial blood pressure. We can go further and do another test like one-way ANOVAs and so, but can be beyond the scope of our presentation today. We will just be stuck with the basic. Now I will switch back to the slide for some tips before we close. Here are some tips to help you work smoothly in spaces, especially as a beginner. Save your work often. Spaces doesn't autosave. Use short, clean, variable names with no spaces. Define values label early. It helps keep your result readable. Use variable view to adjust data types and formatting. Export your output to Word or PDF. Run descriptive before doing any advanced test. Always clean your data. Missing values can ruin analysis. And use code books to track your variables. Use base to save the syntax of every test. This is especially important if you want to reproduce your analysis. That is for this quick practical guide. I hope you found it useful and easy to follow. Now I would be happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ola, for great presentation and demo.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ola. Thank you so much for everyone. We have covered 4 topics for our meeting today. We'll come to the 5th part of our agenda today. I will give the chance to Dr. Nader to talk about projects update.
I'd like to thank you, Dr. Omar, and all the presenters from today's topics. So great presentation, everyone. As far as the updates, anyone of the fellows would like to share any of the updates?
Hi, Dr. Nader again. We're working the project 71. It's about telemedicine perspectives and opinion of the caregiver and patients on long-term settings. Now we are designing the extraction sheet so we can benefit from the Dr. Lena's presentation. We're doing well, and hopefully we'll finish the extraction and then we'll go on for quality assessment. I'd like to ask about something. The term of long-term sitting, sometimes it's vague or not clear, because I want to ask, is home care, is there any chance that home care could be considered long-term sitting care?
It depends on what the condition of the patient. So if the patient, let's say, had a fall, resulted in a fracture, went to the hospital for surgery, most of the time they will love to have some rehab. So maybe they will come to a nursing home or rehab center. They will spend some time, a few weeks or a couple of months, and then they go home. When they discharge from the nursing home, they will have some sort of home care provided by some agency that could include physical therapy, occupational therapy, and so on. And this might be less frequent, but just to make sure the patient is up on their feet, able to do what they need to do safely in their environment. Let's say they are living in a house, they want to make sure they are going up and down the stairs the right way. If they need rails or some modification, they will recommend that, and hopefully they will help install some of these. So this will be a short-term assisted care for this patient to be independent or back to their baseline. On the other hand, if there are some patients with long-term conditions, let's say a patient with dementia, so home care, they can provide some sort of care to that patient so that the family member can go out and do what other activities they want to do while they have their loved one taken care of at home. So that could be one thing. Another condition maybe patients with long-term infections that needs long-term antibiotics IV, for example. So the nursing staff from these services will provide this home care in the form of administering the IV for a long time while the patient at their home, instead of the patient stays at the hospital for only IV antibiotics, for example, if that makes sense.
So the second case and third case, they should be included in this. Okay, then we'll make them in a subgroup and to analyze them differently. Thank you so much, Dr. Nader.
Thank you. But great, thank you for sharing the updates. Good luck. Any other updates? I got some emails, and there are some other groups are working on their projects, and one group submitted manuscript to a journal, so we are waiting for their feedback and see if it got accepted. Most of the time we will get some reviews back, and we'll edit and then resubmit. But that's good. Any other questions or any other updates? Please go ahead. So I'd like to ask if anyone has any questions about the fellowship, the program. I know some of you might be new to the program, and we have seniors. So if you have any questions, they can answer. If you join the WhatsApp group, and in your teams, the seniors or the team leader may be able to answer some of the questions. But in general, do you have any questions, suggestions, new ideas for new projects? So Eiman, can you just ask the question so that we can answer it with a clear answer? I know in the chat you mentioned how to start, but...
Hello, Dr. Nader.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Eiman Habani, currently working as a research assistant at University of Iowa Hospital and Clinic. I'm wondering if I want to enroll in presentation here with you.
Mm-hmm.
So how could I start and give me the...
Welcome to the program, first of all, and we are happy to have you. So we try to organize the fellows into teams. Each team, they have a color, like today's team, Dr. Omar and his team from the red team, and each team, they may have a number. So they are from red team number 2. And that team will have fellows Some might be seniors or mostly new fellows, and they will have a leader for that team. And the purpose of the team is to get together. If they have any ideas, they can communicate and they can discuss brainstorming as far as what they want to do as far as, let's say, projects and any activities or any presentations, posters, and so on. As far as presentation, each week we will have one of these teams organize the topics and the speakers, and we hope that the team members will be available to volunteer to present. And each topic, maybe they will have one fellow or more fellows to present the topic similar to today's agenda. So sometimes the team members from the team who is going to present may be short, they are not available. So the team leader will open the floor for other team members from other teams to join and present, similar to one of the fellows today's presented, not from the red team. So if you are available, let's say next week, and you look at the agenda for next week, and you feel you will be interested in volunteering or presenting, then you approach the next week team leader so they can put you on the agenda and then you can present. So this goes for everyone, new fellows or senior fellows. If you are available, you can look at the agenda for next coming weeks and see what's your availability, what topics you are interested in, and then you can communicate with the team leader of that day. To do that, I'm going to show you how. So if you go to the app, if you scroll down, you will see the upcoming Zoom meetings. And next week, it's going to be the green team. Sometimes it has the lime team. So we have line 1, line 2, or 3. So you will approach the team leader from that team and see what topic you are interested in. Let's say you want to see if you want to participate in presenting topic number 4. So you approach the team leader for line team and see, say, I want to help with this topic. So if there is a fellow from that team, then both of you can divide the topic and then you can share or present together, if that makes sense. Did I answer your question?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you did answer it. Okay, I'm gonna contact my team leader and see what could I present and
Sounds good.
arrange that with them. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions or any other suggestions from the seniors? Anything else we can do to improve this program? Please share your ideas. So for the new fellows, you're gonna contact your team leader and see if they offer any suggestions for new projects. But if you'd like to, you can also go to the app again, and in the app there is a section where you can see projects. So these are some of the projects that are listed, and each project they have, excuse me. So each project, they have the number of fellows involved in that project. So if you are interested in, let's say, project number 38, you click on it, and then you can add yourself to that. So if you want to know more about the topic or how to do, you can ask any of the seniors or the team leader. They may help you. Here's a file with some skeleton of what that topic or research project will involve, and you can just add yourself. And when you add yourself, you will be asked about what area or task you want to do. If you are familiar with leading a topic, maybe you will be the project leader for that. If you want to be a member, or maybe just a co-leader for that project. And some of the tasks are listed. So you want to do the abstract submission, or you want to present if the abstract is accepted, or poster preparation, and so on. These are just some examples. So you will be able to communicate with the team members there. So, for example, if you click on the member here, you will have their contact info. So this is Firdaus for Aisha Firdaus, and if you scroll down, you will find seniors, fellow, or junior. I think she's a junior, so Aisha. Somewhere you will find her here, Firdaus, I think. So the contact number will be their email address or so on. If you have questions, you can contact me, or you can contact the team leader, if that makes sense.
Hello, Dr. Nader. I hope you're doing well. Actually, I just wanted to ask regarding since there's like a collection of match applicants here, what about the new travel ban? Will it be like it's risky to apply for the next match cycle? Shall we apply or not? I'm really confused by this time, especially the match season is starting. And I wanted also to ask specifically the previous match cycle applicant, have their GA visa been rejected or not? So if anyone can help with this, I will be very thankful.
Thank you so much for your question, Dr. Moran. Where are you located now?
I am currently in UAE.
Okay, so things change rapidly. So far, I haven't heard anything from fellows from overseas who matched. I think there are some movement to put them in, like in general, any IMG from overseas, the bodies of organizations here are pushing to place them on an exception for the visa, because they need physicians in this country. So I haven't heard anyone from the fellowship from overseas who had trouble getting the visa or coming in so far, and I hope this is the case. So as far as next cycle, we will hope things will also be easy for anyone outside to get the visa, but again, things changes every day here. So my suggestion is do your best, and if you meet all the criteria, all the criteria for like you do your interviews, if you get accepted, hopefully you will have an easy pass for getting the visa and attending. If for any reason you haven't, at that time we will discuss of how we can help and see if there is any room to get you in the US.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Nadil. I tried to contact the ECFMG many times, but still there is no clear reply. And since it's just something new, we're not familiar with it. We're just waiting for like what will happen next. Everyone is stressed now, but hopefully something will be done about it. So thank you for the reassurance.
You're welcome. And I wish you all the best, all of you. So just do your best, and hopefully things will come to your way the way you want. Thank you. Anyone else with any questions or any suggestions, any ideas? Dr. Omar, do you have any final comments?
I just want to thank everyone who participated in today's presentation, because all the presentations, they were really good and helpful. And I want to thank everyone who attended this meeting. And also I want to thank you, Dr. Nader, for guiding us and helping us and answering all our questions from very different topics. Thank you so much, Dr. Nader. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Omar, and thank you all the presenters from today. You did a wonderful job, and thanks for your time, your effort, and great presentation. Thank you all for attending this meeting, and I'd like to extend my thanks also to those who will watch the recording in the future. We'll see you next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Have a wonderful day or night. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Dr. Nader. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Nader.
You're welcome. Thank you, Dr. Azza.